Hello, this is Scott from the Living History School, and today I'm going to show you the best and cheapest bushcraft knife you can possibly get. The time-tested tradition, and it's basically the old butcher knife. This is what pretty much what the majority of the mountain men used, all the way up to probably from the early 1800s all the way up to about 1840 when people started mass-producing knives. For that trade. But previous to that, people did Sheffield mass-produced just butcher knives, and that's what a lot of the Indians and pioneers used. And this particular butcher knife I've had in my family for a long time. It was my dad's. And then I have some other knives I'll show you what we're talking about. This is a replica of an actual Hudson Bay Company knife. It has this kind of octagon handle. And then a couple other good knives that I like. This one is a good skinning knife. The upper turned end is really good. And then another just cheap, inexpensive knife that you can buy is these Martinelli finished knives for deboning and filleting. They're excellent. You can pick these all up for about $10. Usually $8 or something. You can find these at a garage sale or less. Super good steel in there, super sharp. And then of course you can pick, butcher knives up. Make sure that good carbon steel in them, and you can. All you would need is to make a sheath for this is to get some rawhide and wet it down and bend it over and sew it up with some another piece of ligament or tendon, and you can have yourself a knife and a sheath for $7 or $10. Instead of going out and paying several $100s for for about $10 you can go out and just make sure the good carbon steel. A lot of old hickory knives are really good. Instead of paying several $100s for a knife that's not going to be any better than this one or any of these, you can just go out to a garage sale or Goodwill or something and pick one up, and they work fine for the mountain men and pioneers, and they'll work fine for what the majority of what you need to do. And if you want, something smaller for smaller skinning stuff, you can use a pocket knife, which I use quite often. I think the most expensive one is this knife here, and I'm not even sure the maker. It has a little canoe on it. I believe it's a local person here in Oregon that makes it. It's a nice knife, but they're all good knives, and they're all fairly inexpensive. So that's what I would recommend, and that's about as many knives as I actually have. I have a couple more, but you only need one good knife. You really don't need to have several hundred knives or whatever people have. Each knife has a particular purpose. Some are good, of course, good or better for deboning or fleshing, like these types of knives, or filleting, I should say. And then others are more for the skinning type of this. Thanks for joining on the Living History School today, and that was a little bit about knives.